Alright. Problem with unambiguous being negative most of the time and pushing their own people away. Alright. I like the Exotical community for the fact that we're talking about real ways to keep elevating the honesty about society standards and what so-called activists won't do. What a lot of people won't do. A lot of people are just not honest. But anyways, a lot of people from the unambiguous community have been rewarded by one another, and even white people, for trauma bonding and staying negative so far as to living in a victim mindset. All of the woe is me that I've dealt with made me feel like, okay, let me just make sure that I have the life that I want. There's so much talk about mistreatment, lack of representation, and so much bashing of people who happen to be light skinned. It makes me mad to think that I spent so much time trying to pick up dark skinned people just for them to sneer and leer because I'm closer to the so-called beauty standards. Like there's not lots of dark skinned people finally winning out here. Right? It's crazy to see that you can love someone and try to uplift people who is, as far as you can see, we're still in the same circle. We're still in the same group, but they feel so separate because of everything that's happened in their life. We're still in the same boat, and because of the internalized problems that they dealt with, there's much less unity. Makes me glad that I've never commented on Black women empowerment channels. I wouldn't have known the vitriol I could have been subjected to without channels like Exoticals United. We're fighting for equity while you want to take down your own light-skinned counterpart. It showed me that DS people would rather shoot themselves in the foot before seeing real change for all Black people. Like, that's what kills me the most about this, is that when dark-skinned people, light-skinned people are fighting, that means the white person won. The white man won, in the sense of they divided, they conquered. And even though we're not dealing with segregation like that in America, they don't have to do it anymore because Black people are doing it to themselves. I don't like the fact that a lot of dark-skinned people don't actually love their own race, let alone hear out the experiences of being more desirable because of their skin tone, because of their hair texture. And I'm brown skin. And with some experiences that I've seen, it made me wonder if I would be better off light skin. But through learning and listening to Exotical channels, I found that there's more trouble being light skin. Being brown skin seems to have left me out of these fights, as these haters under the cloak of Black empowerment only see in black or white. And the pretty part. Who doesn't want to be beautiful? To be seen as pretty. If you say that you don't, we know that you're lying. Everyone knows that you're lying. But anyways, it's sad to see that so many dark-skinned people accepted the lie that they're undesirable or ugly and never tried beyond that. Never tried to see their own beauty. Who couldn't stand to look crazy as they learn to do their hair and makeup? And that's what a lot of... But no, that's the funny part. That's the funny part. Where it's like, dark skins, they will see a light skin trying and looking crazy one day and just laugh about it, make jokes about But then, once that experimentation period is over and they look good, now they're just mad. Still forgetting about what they were just making fun of, which was their attempts to get better. Right? You have to experiment. You have to try, because that shows that you love yourself. You care about yourself enough to say, I deserve a little extra. I deserve to look as good as possible, because we're not going to act like looking good doesn't help us. Because for the racists and the colorists, okay, they're not gonna like you regardless. And they're honestly not worth being around. And that's what y'all need to remember. If people are colorist for real, racist for real, you really want to be around those people just because you finally fit in their little slim standard of beauty? I wish that more of these unempowered dark skinned women, because it's not all dark skinned women, took the time to experiment with their makeup, with their dresses, and stop caring about all the people who are going to say something. They're going to say something until you look so good where they now have to follow, because it's like, I need to get on that. Right? Because now there's too many dark skinned people who've been winning for decades now. I could put decades on it because it's been decades now. So I don't want to hear, like, okay, in racist, colorist spaces, yes. You're still dealing with that. I understand that. And if you're, I'm going to say in a city, if you're in places that are more inclusive, you're okay. But if you're not in more inclusive spaces, I understand those issues. Because everywhere in the world is not the same. And honestly, when it comes to the male part, I feel like dark skinned women have it easier in the sense that you're not having to deal with people who want you just because you're light skinned, just because you have a certain hair texture, just because you have a certain phenotype. You're not being chased by people who are just seeing you as a social status, as a symbol, as a potential to change their own bloodline. While it may hurt that you're rejected much faster, you don't have to deal with being lied to and having to vet more people, because they're still in their mind thinking, I just need a light skinned person. I just need a light skinned woman in my life. It's not really someone you want to be around. If they think that's the difference, they're not thinking about what's on the inside, whether you're really smart or not, whether you really have something to offer or not outside of these physical things. Because it seems glamorous to be fought over, but it's not. That's just a lot more BS you have to deal with. And it seems easier on social media because a lot of people are still indoctrinated in colorism and racism around the world. So, okay, yeah, you might get more views, but is it really worth it? Because who's watching it now?